Hey, I'm Joe Roberts, and you are watching The Coach Harrison Show. All right, thanks for joining us this week. It's another week of football rundown, but a different location, maybe a better location than last week. You get a comfortable chair this week, Coach.
Well, you made it a little lower this week, but it is pretty comfy, so I'll take it.
That was my secret. I have to be at least in the wheelhouse. I felt like I was looking straight up at you last week.
I get it. I understand, man. I get it.
All right, so let's talk about all the awesome things that happened with Panther football. Last week, you went into Coldspring, a place that the Panthers have not won in I don't know how long, and you walked out of there with a 4-point victory, the first time since 2020 that the Liberty Panthers have opened up a football season 1-0.
We did what we were supposed to do. I'll take it. It was ugly. But when you leave with a W, it's always a great feeling. And so, just recapping a little bit what happened last week versus Coldspring, we left a lot on the table. I mean, we take away the self-inflicted wounds that we talked about the week before. I think it could have been it didn't have to be as close as it needed to be. But
right. Well, let's start.
A way to win.
Let's start from the top and then run back.
Okay.
So game starts beautifully. It's a great atmosphere. Lots of people show up.
Absolutely.
Run through the tunnel. Everything is going well. First drive, Frankie Mares, 60 yards. I think I said 62 on the game film, but those were so tiny. Huh? So anyway, 60 yards up the left-hand side, he scores, and it looks like we're about to watch a boat race.
Absolutely, but that's the wonderful thing about football and life is that everything don't go according to your plan, right? And so we faced a little adversity early on, really the entire first half. I was thinking kind of what you were thinking, that we had a chance to really just put our foot on the gas and just make it not even close. But, they did it. They have a good football team, and they made the right adjustments. And, we kind of got in our own way a little bit. And so the adversity hits, and what I was most proud of is that our guys learned how to play through adversity and figured out a way how to win a ball game. And so that's a testament to the hard work that they've put in and, kind of what our coaches have instilled in them so far.
The big boys up front, Carlos Rubio, Jackson Harris, opening up earthquake-size holes for your trio of running backs to run through. And the adversity you were talking about, which Ross and I talked about this, how were you going to solve the problem? Had some problems with the center exchange in the shotgun, and it cost you a safety and a turnover. Mm-hmm. But going into the halftime break, I don't know what you said or what you did, but I don't recall a single instance in the second half where, and this is me with my bad eyes. You got the coach hat on. You're like, well, there was 25 different times.
Right.
But I don't recall it being anything major. The adjustments were made. But before halftime, I think you'd almost got back on the right track anyway, trailing by a couple of scores.
Yes, sir.
And then nice work out of the defensive side of the ball. Cameron Harper with the interception.
Yes, sir.
And then Cade Carter with a 55-yard pitch and catch from Mares to Carter. And once he gets going, you're not really going to pull him down very easily.
No doubt. And, what I love about Cade is that he likes to put on a show like he don't really enjoy football, because he's a baseball kid.
Yeah.
But I think he's really enjoying the game right now. Obviously, it's his last year playing, being a senior. But I think he's done a great job of being very attentive in practice and pretty much doing what we ask of him. And I think he's reaping the benefits of all his hard work he's put in. So really proud of him and his effort on Friday on really both sides of the ball. He actually had to come in defensively and, help spare a few guys. They got a little winded. And, I think Frankie, once again, I'm expecting a big year from him, and I think he started off the year with a bang.
You had several guys last year that were battling injuries. Cade Carter was one of them. He missed a big portion of last season. Cameron Harper wasn't an injury but he got picked on a lot. He's a very undersized defensive back, and man, he made a momentum shifting play back there amongst others that he did.
Absolutely. Cam Harper isn't the biggest, but he has the biggest heart out of probably everyone on the team. And if everybody played with his toughness and his aggressiveness, we'll be a much better football team. So love Cam, great family, great kid, love to be around him.
Halftime, trailing by 4, and got things figured out. Coldspring takes the opening kickoff, and they kept the ball for, it felt like 365 days.
It did feel like that.
They chewed up most of the third quarter, and it culminated in a touchdown.
Yes, sir.
Where was your mind at after they scored on that long drive?
We got to go play. It's time left. If we have time left, we got a chance.
You're such a coach.
But no, that's what we tell the kids.
Okay.
I recall walking down the sideline and kind of telling them, hey, we didn't expect it to be easy. Like, so let's go. Figure it out. Let's play ball.
So new wild card, and so new that even though I had seen him, I didn't know who it was. Number 9, Grayson Weeks, transfers in. In fact, several of our fans were texting me during the game. And they were sending the shot of all the profile stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. You would think somebody on air would know that kind of information. He scores from, I think, maybe 25 yards out, and man, he is fast.
He is a great kid, by the way. We was able to get him over this year, and he's been a tremendous asset not only to our team but to our coaching staff and our school. He enjoys what he does. Like he enjoys football. He enjoys being a great teammate. He enjoys being in that locker room, and I think guys like that are contagious, and they have leadership ability because they have the influence.
Well, you score on that one. You go down, and you've got such a beautiful drive. You had a long drive yourself there, and junior running back Logan Fowler, he punches it in from a yard out.
Yes, sir.
Kind of gave me a heart attack there when he crossed the line. I guess he tossed the ball or something, and I was like, oh no, but he'd already scored. It was great. A nice long drive, chewed up a bunch of time, took your first lead since the first quarter.
Yes, sir.
And how are we feeling at that point?
Now we got to try.
Don't be coachy on me.
Well, we got to put them away.
Okay, all right.
That's what it comes down to, right? And we know, I think I mentioned it on last week's broadcast, that team is used to winning. They're going to win 7 or 8 games year in and year out, whether they're up, whether they're down. So we knew it was an opportunity for us to kind of put the game away, and, we found the way to do it.
Now, here's where I'm going to give you credit for being a great coach.
Don't give me too much credit.
I'm going to give you a lot of credit. So I guess it was it must have been after the week's score. You lined up for the point after attempt, and then you said, whoa, 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 and you called everyone off looking at the score. That extra point wouldn't have done anything for you, really.
Right.
So you went for 2, didn't make it, so that part didn't matter. But then later on, you had a chance to send out, we're calling him the leg, Diego Diaz.
I like it.
I feel like if he had been in Shepherd, he could have kicked a field goal in Coldspring.
Absolutely.
32, I think that's what I marked it up. But again, I couldn't see the yard line.
Yes, sir. You're in the ballpark.
Okay, so 30-something
yes, sir.
that he kicked. And, he had another 15, 20 yards on that easy, probably.
Absolutely. Well, when you're accustomed to kicking 50-yarders, I think 36 is just like a little walk in the park.
So that's such a great weapon to have, because on the flip side, Coldspring did not go for a point after one time. Now, of course, they had some giant running backs.
Oh, yeah.
That swinging gate, the number 11, I think he probably could have put 10 or 11 guys on his shoulders.
He's a big boy.
He scored, I think, every time they went for 2.
2-point conversion, yes, sir.
So maybe you don't need a kicker if you've got that weapon.
2, yeah, absolutely.
But having a weapon like Diego, especially as the season goes along and you're going to be in some tight ball games, what does that mean for your program?
Well, we know when we get across the 50 that if we get in the 30 or 35-yard line area, we got a chance to leave with 3 points if we do our jobs up front. And so that also takes some pressure off our quarterback and somewhat off our offense to know that, we want every possession to end with a kick, whether it's an extra point, whether it's a kickoff, whether it's a punt, whether it's a field goal. And having a guy like Diego, we know that we can get those 3 points. Like we're in the area. We feel confident that 50-yarder he can knock it through because he's proven that he's done it before. So it's great to have when you have it. Now when you don't have it, go back, albeit last year for the first 7 games, then you're like, we're missing this side of it. So the fact that we have Diego and he can put it through the uprights and give us a chance to leave with 3 points, that we'll take it.
All right, Coach, last week you talked about one of the best things that you have on your team was Coach Andy Garza, the defensive coordinator, and several names jumped out at me, and hopefully Carlos heard this and he understands what I meant. I said he was doing his best Vince Wilfork impression. He busted through the line one time and knocked some helmets around. You've got Pepper Dubose flying all over the place. John Key was a disruptor coming through there. Very into the game. The game's not wrapped up. I mean, they're driving down. They're in goal line yardage situation, and we're still on pins and needles here. A touchdown, and every bit of great work you've done is undone, and you force number 10 out of the pocket, and then Cameron Harper right there with that stop at the end. What about that?
Makes a huge play, and at the beginning of that drive, he kind of get in a little scuffle with one of their kids. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they ended up throwing offsetting penalties, right? And I remember calling him to the sideline, and I was like, hey, if you don't react right there, they're backed up on the 15-yard line. But, being a senior, being a guy who has experience, his number was called, and he made the most of it. We weren't going to leave him out. I just wanted him to calm down, put him right back in the game, and he was good to go. So
now, Coach, I know – you're taking 1 week at a time, but the pressure of getting win number 1 off of your back in week number 1, how big is that for you moving forward? And come on now, coach.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. It's no pressure.
Okay, look, this is the content that I need, and this is what I'm working with right here. Okay.
Well,
There's no pressure.
No pressure,
all
and
right.
the reason I say that is because we prepared for the moment.
Okay,
right? Like that's what summer is about. That's what offseason is about. And so we came into this game expecting to win. And we're going to expect to win in every game we play. We may not win every game we play, but that's okay. But we don't leave nothing up to fate. So our guys are working hard. They're getting coached hard. We're going to expect to be in every game we play in.
Perfect, Coach. Players of the game, Frankie Mares, Cade Carter, co-offensive players of the game?
Yeah, it was hard to choose between the two, so we gave it both to them. Both had great games. I think Frankie brings a dynamic that, we haven't seen in a long time with his ability to put the ball on the ground and run with it at any given moment. So it keeps the defense on their heels. I think Cade had a heck of a game playing tight end and wide for us. Had 2 catches, I think, for over 100 yards and a touchdown in the score. So he did a tremendous job. Those guys, once again, seniors, I expected of them. And so they did what we expected them to do. And once again, our offensive players of the game.
Defensive player of the game, Pepper Dubose. He really put his stamp on the program last year. We called his name a bunch.
Absolutely.
And he had a quiet game. I called his name a few times, but he led the team with 9 solo tackles.
Yes, sir. So Pepper had a great coming out party last year as a junior. And, him coming back this year, expecting even better things from him. But he's a silent assassin. He don't say much. He's not very emotional. But he's just going to go out there and do his job.
Those are the most dangerous football players.
Those are the most dangerous people, right?
Okay, and then you also have a category that we haven't talked about. It's called your #grow.
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about that, and that is freshman Jacob Rawlinson.
Yes, sir. So you'll see on our shirts, you'll see on our helmets, we talk about it as coaches, we talk about it with our players, and #grow basically means that, every day we're looking for a way to get better at something. From a coach's standpoint, being a better coach, being a better husband, being a better father, being a better teacher. All these things, we're looking for ways to just get a little bit better each day. And so that's kind of when you see us and you see all the growth stuff around it, that's what it's about. And it's just not a football thing, it's a program thing. And our grow player of this week was none other than our freshman sensation, Jacob Rawlinson.
Perfect. Now, Coach, this week, tomorrow, actually, our first game, home opener at Memorial Stadium, 7:30 p.m. kickoff.
7 o'clock.
Oh, 7.
kickoff.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so it's wrong on Max Preps, maybe, or it's wrong. So I'm glad you said 7. 7 p.m. kickoff. I need to change that on the old slide. There
you go.
Okay, so anyway, Splendora Wildcats.
Yes, sir.
Coming to town, and what are we going to see from Splendora?
Well, they have a very dynamic receiving core, specifically number 3, who is their end-all, be-all kid. I mean, he can take a bubble to the house, as we saw last year.
That's what, T.J. Birch, I think, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's their fly sweep guy. I mean, he's their offense. But they have some other weapons offensively. Number 11, who comes in, who gives up a lot of size, who's a jump ball kid who can go up and get it. And so it's going to be really good for us defensively to get a test of some of these receivers. And we got a little bit of it last week with Coldspring because those guys weren't no slouches by any means.
Right.
But that's what they're going to bring offensively. They're going to try to spread us out and try to get those playmakers the ball.
We've been in some track meets with them before.
Absolutely. Last year was one of them.
Yep.
You know, defensively, I think their D-line is pretty good. I think they have 2 safeties that can come down and run the alley and make some great tackles. And if the ball's in the air, they can go up and get it. And so that's going to be another test for us this week as we go in. And then I think from a special team standpoint, you know, from watching them last week, they did a surprise on the side. They did a squib in the middle. They did high pooch. So we got to expect the unexpected with them from that standpoint. So once again, it's going to be a good test for us and kind of to see where we're at. I'm expecting our biggest growth should always happen from week 1 to week 2. Mm-hmm. And so we've watched the film. We've practiced hard this week. And so I'm anxious to see a little bit kind of how we come out of this thing. But once again, I think we're going to have a chance no matter what.
Now, I know you've probably already answered this. In fact, I know you have answered it. I'm going to ask it anyway. So they tuned up Cleveland last week, 54-6. Mm-hmm. How do you mentally prepare? Because you know kids, they look at social media. They look at all the stuff. They know how bad they beat Cleveland. So how do you prepare them to kind of ignore that and say, hey, let's just be us, baby?
Well, I just reminded them of what happened last year because they beat Cleveland pretty good last year, week 1, and guess what? They beat us week 2. And so I reminded them that they have some really good players. And, you know, if we don't come and play like we should play, that they're more than capable of beating us. But we're more than capable of winning the game. And just like last week, if it's a close game, we can win those. But it don't have to be a close game either. So I think our kids got the right mindset, and they know what's expected of them, and they know what we got to do. So I think we're going to be fine.
Perfect. All right, just like always, Coach, final thought for Panther Nation out there. What should they be taking away this week?
Well, before I get to that, first of all, shout out to Panther Nation because that was the first away game I thought that felt like a home game. And if you looked at it, I thought we had more fans on our side of the field than Coldspring had on their home side last week. So shout out to Panther Nation for traveling and supporting us along the way. But this week, man, once again, expect some improvement from us on all 3 phases of the game. And let's get a dub. Make sure you guys show up Friday at 7 p.m. and, you know, cheer us on. Be loud, be proud, show some Panther pride.
I love it. All right, that is the Coach Harrison Show. I'm Joe Roberts, and we will see you next week.